Farm Home Show. Today we will be making some bread, and I'm your host, Bryson, and this is Isaac, and our mama is the cameraman. And then we have our little brother Case in the background, just to be there. So let's get started. Okay, so you'll start with 1.5 cups of warm water. You use warm water whenever you use yeast, it kind of activates it. So you put that in. And then next, you put in the yeast, which is
2 1/4 teaspoon.
So just put that in.
Give me the 1/4 teaspoon.
Alright, so after the yeast, you put in the salt.
And that is 1/3 of a teaspoon.
So you get the salt in there. I'm gonna go ahead and tell them our next ingredient. So, the next ingredient will be
Sugar.
sugar. These made it sit down too much. So you put 2 tablespoons of sugar
No,
in.
not 2. 1.5 tablespoons.
I give up, okay. My specialty is shaping the bread, which I will show you how to do later.
It's 1.5 of a teaspoon. Did I say tablespoon?
So next you do the butter, right?
Yes.
Alright, so next you do the 2 tablespoons of butter, okay? It is delicious Kerrygold. It is delicious, by the way. Alright, so you just put that in there. Melted, make sure it is melted. Alright,
Now, we need 5 cups of flour.
5 cups, it's a lot of flour there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, count with me. We have 1 cup of flour. Very slowly, he will add the 2nd cup of flour. Then he will go for number 3. Make sure it's evenly flat. Make sure all the flour's out of there.
Four.
Oh, and always make sure before you start these videos to wash your hands. We don't want any of those germs spreading around your household, and it makes a great gift, so try not to get them sick.
And there's 5.
Okay. So, next you'll add in the milk. There's 3/4 of milk, 3/4 of a cup of milk, and you just pour that in there, and then you get your old-fashioned bread hook. It's not really old-fashioned, but
And then you
mix it on up. Now, you don't want to make sure your bread's sticky. You want it to be a dry and delicious looking dough. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we'll show you what the dough looks like once it's all good to shape.
get the surface ready.
What?
Surface.
Alright, so what you want to do here is you want to get a little bit of flour, just enough to coat the countertop to make sure none of your bread sticks or anything. So very little, and you always get some on your hands. Depending on your climate, you may have to change how much flour you use. Like if you're in a wetter, you may have to use a little bit more or less than 5 cups of flour. So, and it depends on the season. The season change, and you may have to use more or less depending on the season. All right, so it looks good. All right, let me go ahead and get it here. It's still sticky. I may be able to work with this. All right, so what I do is flatten it out. Just continue this process until it looks like it's good to start folding in and shaping. So then you fold it in half. And you start to shape it. So it may take a while depending on your loaf. Sometimes it's different. Sometimes it's really easy to shape and sometimes it's a little harder. So what you do is you start to get the bread shape, and then what I do is again, I flatten it out. You flatten it out, make the bread shape, and flatten it out again. You continue to make the bread shape, and you'll notice the more you do this, the harder it'll get. Like right now it's kind of soft, and then it'll start getting more shape and then being harder to control. So keep flour in your hands because then the bread may stick to your hands and it'll just pull the bread and make it not look as neat. So I should be flattening it out for the last time. So you'll see it starts to take some bread shape here, and then we got a pan butter. You can use whatever you want, coconut oil, lard, butter, but we just use olive oil right now. So the one problem that you have with a lot of bread is the air pockets and all that. So there's not really a way to prevent that. So you may, if you have that like right here, you may have to flatten it out more, or just flip it over and flatten it out and then fold it in half. So this is probably the longest part other than letting it rise and bake. So after you get it in form, you have to let it rise for 1 to 2 hours. 2 makes it bigger and let the yeast rise longer, but 1 just makes the process go quicker. Right. So once you get it to bread form, you just stick it in the pan. Make sure you have flour on your hands, because then it may just completely ruin the loaf that you just made, or not made, but shaped. And then you pick it up, put it in, situate it where it'll look nice and pretty, and then get a towel so it keeps the dirt, flies out of your bread. And then you let it rise for 1 hour to 2 hours, like I said, and then you bake it. Now that your bread is done rising, you'll put it in the oven. Set the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you put it in for 30 minutes, and then you'll be back, and then you'll have to butter the top, and then you'll put it in for 15 more minutes. So now that your 30 minutes are up, you will butter the bread. Now you will have to put it in for 15 to 20 minutes, depending, because ovens are different and sometimes they cook at different rates. So then you'll put that back in, and then once you take them out, you put them on the cooling rack, and then enjoy. We are done. We're about to put it on the cooling rack. So after you take it out of the oven, you have to put it on the cooling rack immediately, or it'll hold moisture and there'll be soggy bread. Nobody wants that. So look how easy it just popped out. No crumbs in there. And then flip it over, and then bam. So now you have to let it cool, because then it won't cut right. So I say about 20 minutes after you just pulled it out of the oven, and then you can cut it. Thank you.